Today's show is going to be very interesting. We have some fabulous guests, and then my lovely Darlene Nelson is still visiting me here from Arizona, from thesecretisyou.com. But when we get back, okay, guys, you need to bring your brains and your bodies and your spirits and all get in front of the camera, get in front of the TV, do whatever you have to do. Call your friends and your family and get on this discussion. Get in on the discussion. Don't just be passive. Put your ears on, open up your heart, and let's have this discussion about WOW, women on women crime, which I really believe it can be something else other than commisery. It can be community. But there are some caveats. Only on Tina Speaks.
In so many ways I can please. Hey, hey, hey.
What?
Hello, hello, hello. This is Tina Michelle of Tina Speaks TV. And we have another day, another wonderful day in this conversation. And I'm here with Darlene Nelson. Hi, Darlene.
Hey.
Say hello again.
Hello again.
You're so silly. But I love her. That's why she's my friend. She's my friend. And, you know, that's saying a lot, considering the content that we're sort of jumping in today. You know, I try not to presence words within the negative because that's sort of imprinting something that we don't want to happen all the time. But I think all of us as women at some point can sort of relate to the phrase woman on woman crime. A friend of mine was actually reading something. I don't know where he was reading it from, but he was talking about the senior vice president of Facebook. And he said everything that this woman has gone through in her career had nothing to do with a man trying to stop her from getting past or getting up in the corporation. It was a woman that tried to hold her back. So I've been blessed to meet both sides of the table, right? I've met some beautiful, resourceful, powerful women, and I will say that. And I've met some scandalous chicks. And in life, we have to navigate both. And here's the truth. At some point in life, we may have been both.
Right.
We may have been both.
Exactly.
It just, if we're honest with ourselves, we'll be able to say that.
And share it.
And share it.
Share it.
And know the difference.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't always where I am today.
Neither
And
was
before
I.
I woke up, there's some things I probably could have said and did that were pretty ratchet. So I'm just being honest, because if we can just be honest with ourselves, then we can begin the conversation, we can begin the healing, right? So we have the wonderful Six.
Yeah, you doing, Tina? I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here too. By trade, you are a sex therapist.
Yes, I am. I do Raw Talk with Six, and How to Get the Man in Your Dream sponsors me. How to Get the Man in Your Dream.com sponsoring my show, Raw Talk with Six. I'm on YouTube, and it's going pretty well. But what I want to talk to you, because you just opened up some with women on women's crime, has to go with a woman raped me. Okay, I was 22 years old, and a woman pistol whipped me, drugged me, dragged me down her steps. You know, I used to work for her in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. You know, I used to manage her restaurant, and she had a house. All the workers stayed there. So I rented a room from her, plus ran her restaurant. One night she came up to the bedroom and just pointed a gun at me and told me to get out the bed and grab my hand and you know, told me, you know, it's about time for you to do what, you know, like I owed her that, you know. Because she gave me a good job. I lived there rent-free. You know, she gave me the highest pay. I didn't see all that. I should have saw it coming, but I was too young, and I never experienced nothing like that to even see it coming. But the night that she came and did what she done to me made me not like women or have a fear of like people staring at me, women staring at me too long. I would get kind of nervous because I don't know if you about to rape me. You know, you're looking at me like you want me. So I would always shy away from women. And I've been through, a lot of abuse, not just with women, men too. But the worst one was because I was like, why didn't I fight her? I couldn't. She had a gun. I want to live. I get, you know. I'm not going, well, I would have, no, you can't say what you would have done in my situation. All I know was to do was take the butt whipping, you know, until she got tired of me not doing what she wanted me to do, and then let me go. It took me a long time, about 10 years, to actually come out and tell somebody, but when I spoke about it, I felt so good to find out that I wasn't the only one it happened to. A man got raped by was telling me he got raped by his sister, or or the grandfather, or so my situation, that once I opened up about it, made me believe that I was the only one, that I was not alone. And there's a lot of people that went through what I went through.
That's right.
And I had a choice either. People always say, well, you could have done this, you could have done. No, I just wanted to live.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never paid
I'm
anybody's
alive.
bill.
I'm here to tell you
You're
my
alive.
story
You're
because
alive.
I wasn't trying to fight, or I wasn't trying to pull the gun away from her. All I know was I wanted to live. And for a while, it took me a long time to tell people about that because I was embarrassed. I was ashamed.
Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing it, because I know that is not an easy thing to share. But if we were to get real about some of the things that we bring into our current relationships today, it's usually those things that we're afraid to talk about that happened
yes.
yesterday. I want to introduce the rest of our little forum here. We've got some real woman power here on the Tina Speak Show today. We have Liz, who I met yesterday, and I love her to pieces. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. And Cookie, who is your best friend.
Yeah, she's my best friend. She's also my co-host on my show, Raw Talk with
Let's see if
Six.
that works.
Hi,
See
you
it?
guys.
Hi, Cookie. Hi, Liz. So we have this great sort of forum to begin a discussion, and my intention, so I like to frame conversations. I guess that's the coach in me, right? My intention is to frame a discussion where we can make distinctions and come with solutions, right?
Right.
And some things, they don't have an answer. Like when you said, you should have did this and you should have did that. There's no answer for
answer
that.
to it.
You are not there.
You're not there.
You don't know what
Exactly.
happened to me. But we, like I like to say to young people, you cannot change what happened in the past, but you can decide what happens next.
Yes, I can. I can deal with today's gift because it's the present, ain't it?
It's the present. It's the present.
It's the present.
Okay, so I mean that's some heavy stuff. And so if we were to just all sit here and be candid and honest, I know when I was when I was a child, I was molested by a family member.
Yeah, so
and
was
it was
I.
always in the dark, and it was over and over in the summer. And so I believe that the only reason why I got through that situation without feeling angry
Shame.
and shamed is because my mother sat with me and said that rape and molestation is an act of violence, not an act of sex. That person has their own issues.
They're sick.
They're sick.
They're sick.
So it's not your fault.
Right.
But I also do know that, my uncles were Q dogs. They were Q dogs, right? And so I know that same person that we called family friend, I really didn't see them again after that.
But you know
summer.
what, Tina? You know what's so crazy is when I found out a few years later, that this woman had died and the way she got killed. You would think that I would be like, that's what she get. Good for her.
You feel sad.
I feel sad
You feel sad.
that she got shot in the head, butt naked. They found her butt naked, sitting in her car with a bullet in her head. And when I found out, it wasn't like that's what she get. I broke. Nobody deserved to die like that or the way she died. No matter what she did to me, I've learned to go on and let it go, by talking about it. Now I can talk about it, but I've learned to go on. But when they told me about the way she died, I was like, wow. I never wished that. I never wished that on her. And I thought it was my. At one time, I was like, because I used to say, ooh, I wish she, And then when it finally happened, it kind of bothered me because I ain't gonna lie. I did after she did. I said, I wish somebody would hurt her or do this.
But
to
that's
her.
sort of the process of
Yeah,
dealing
but
with
it's-
those type of things, right? Your sort of process is denial. Then you sort of go into anger, and then if
I
you
was
sort of
angry.
walk into, and you
Yes.
have the right to be.
I was angry.
You have the right to be angry, but you also, I had to make decisions even with things that were not probably as extreme, but things that I could point to and say, this happened to me, and I want someone to know, but I don't want to talk about it
Right.
because maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know enough, right? And it may not have been an
Exactly.
extreme, but we do that in business. We do that in relationship. We isolate our pain, and then what happens is, that thing that grandmothers always say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we're not adding anything to the conversation that's positive. Like Darlene talks about in her book, The Secret Is You, is about controlling those thoughts, right? Not
Right.
really fixating.
Get out your head. So
Get-
that's why I tell myself, get out your head, Fedra.
That's
Get out
right.
live in the real world, but don't live in there because
Don't live in-
your head.
Or the negativity of it, And I for myself, I laugh and I say, "Oh, I'm singing Willie Nelson songs." So my family knows I am always on my mind. That means I'm scripting
Your
myself,
head, yeah.
and I need to just sort of disengage.
I have to tell myself that too, Fedra, because when you think of something, I mean, you can go so deep in your head where you think it's real and it's not even real. Because you know, you won't get out your head, you know? And I have to tell myself, Phaedra, come back to the world. Get out your head because I'm putting too much into it now. I'm taking it too far now. You know, even in relationship, if my man come home 4 o'clock in the morning, but somebody call me and say they saw him with another woman.
That thing can run in your mind.
Yes,
that
now
runs in your mind over and over. See,
and
we
I
have
to get
people
out
who
of
have
it.
listened to us, and they're saying they've said to me, this is nice, this is warm and fuzzy. You're talking about business and empowerment and philanthropy, and that's all sweet. What about the real stuff that happens? What about the real Tina? And it's the same method. Whether it's dealing with a business deal or whether you're dealing with a situation that is a crisis-oriented situation like you're talking about, you still have the right to control your next steps. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Tina Speaks, back on this discussion. Chime in. Write down your thoughts. Journal it. Assess the environment around you, but be part of it. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We all needed a break after that last discussion. You know, get our heads back in the game. Because, you know, it takes us places where we all can relate to some degree. And again, it may not be the same type of depth when it comes to being dragged downstairs, pistol whipped by your employer. But you know what we all agree about? Pain is pain. So whatever we've gone through, no matter how big or how small it is,
it still hurts.
It still hurts.
It still hurts.
It still hurts. Even with dealing with my children, you know, someone will say, "Oh, they're full of drama," and that's what they feel. You can't take what they feel away from it. It might be huge to them,
and to us, it might be the little smallest
but
thing,
it's huge to them.
You can't compare theirs with
and
ours.
It's just as valid. And
exactly.
Sometimes, you know, it is drama, but it's okay. So, in the business marketplace, we still have some of these same discussions. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So you owned a major magazine, a fashion magazine, and sold it for millions of dollars. Did you have everyone cheering you on, or what?
No, not at all. There was no cheers.
There were no cheers.
No cheers.
Elaborate. You don't get to do one sentence
not gonna
answers here. Just
Actually,
a little bit. Just let the names be changed.
The
for
story's
protection.
a little bit different than what you've shared. I was the
Financing and someone stole the company out from underneath me, so it's a little bit different than how that started.
Oh, you got embezzled.
Did they
Long
embezzle,
story.
or they just was it a hostile takeover? I mean, how does that work?
It was silent.
It was a silent.
It was a silent, oh, by the way.
Oh, that's no fun. That was no fun. But have you had that?
But, you know, I could choose to deal with that in a couple different ways. And I believe that, you know, what is taken from you doesn't have to come back from the same source. So I just let it go, and I knew it would come back somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Do you make it sound so easy? I just let it go.
It is that
And
easy.
it
It's
comes
like
back.
the nose
She's
on your
right, though. When
face. You just need to look in the
accept
mirror.
things and let it go. How did you get it in the first place? The same way you got it the first time. Go back and do it
That's
again.
right.
Absolutely.
Do it again.
Do it again.
out there.
That's it.
You know, but as women, we are powerful. We're resourceful. This is not an anti-man conversation. This is.
Oh, no, we love men.
We like men.
we love men.
We like menses.
Menses.
We like menses. But no, this is a woman. This is about where we stand in our own skin. So in my mind, for years, I kept saying, I don't like working with women. I don't like working with women. And it wasn't true. I actually started my coaching practice with women. I started with women's groups, and I would, we had this class called Women of Vision, where I would help people walk through a vision in 90 days. Write your book, launch it, do the TV show, boom. So I kept saying, it can't be that I don't like working with women. Then it hit me. It was not that I don't like working with women. I love working with women. I just don't like working with chicks. And here's the difference. And here's the difference.
Yes, you're right. You're
Here's the
absolutely
difference.
right.
Look at a chicken, right? You can cut its head off.
yeah.
It keeps running. It eats poop. They all cluster together. They wait for the hen to crow. I mean, they have wings and they can't even
They
fly.
fly.
They can't soar. They can't soar. So I mean, there were so many things when I thought about it. I said, you know what? It's not that I don't like women. I don't like chicks. So what's the opposite distinction? Well, I kept hearing, all my contemporaries talk about a woman is a female version of a diva. And I'm like, that's not a diva. If you go by where you first heard the word diva, it had to do with virtuosos, singers who hit a
Aretha
specific
Franklin.
high note, a very specific high note, in Italy in particular.
Right.
And these were women who, their voices were almost supernatural. It's like they had a different set of lungs. So I said, actually, I love divas because that supernatural high note is their purpose. So they're aligned with their purpose. Therefore, all the rest of that stuff just goes away. It just goes away. And meanwhile, the chicks are still cackling and running around with no heads and
no
eating
heads,
poop.
yeah.
And it's okay.
They have no direction
They have
in
no
life.
direction. They have no direction. And I was that at one point.
Yeah,
so I'm not
so was
judging.
I. I
I'm
was
not
too.
judging. When I aligned with purpose, my whole game changed. Liz, I know you're over there and you're grinning.
Oh, yes.
You and Cookie over there
But
grinning.
I think all of us women have been through that. I don't think, we all grow up like from 18 to 25 with not knowing.
Wait, I'm 55 and I haven't grown up yet.
I don't want to grow up. But when I'm talking about decisions, like some people sit back when I say, look, when I turn 30, I'm be here, I'm be doing this, I'm be doing that. When I turn 40, I'm be doing this. This is where I'm supposed to be. When I get 50, this is where I'm supposed to be at. We guideline our life with our age, and I don't think we should do that. Just live.
Well, it's not chronological, it's experiential. Like I tell people, don't just grow up, grow inward.
Right.
That's more important than just looking at a number on a piece of paper. 'cause
exactly. Just don't
it's
do that.
internal growth. So I was in a car yesterday coming back from the shoot that we had, and me and Liz are having this great little discussion about dudes, right? And there was this like silver-haired guy
Oh, yes.
right next to us, and I was like, he's a hottie, he's a babe, and she started to talk about it, right? And we're trying to explore our lives. So Liz, chime in on this. What are you thinking about that? Because I know you had some serious discussions yesterday with me about what you want. Do you find is it a women and women crime issue? Are you in your body and it's just about you, or what?
I love conversations with women. I just think that we have such a depth, a connection, that we really do work well together. And such great intuition, and just we come up with great ideas when we talk together. So I love conversations with women.
You enjoying it? How about you, Cookie?
Yes, I really do enjoy myself with women. We empower each other.
Yeah.
I think women make things happen more
Yeah.
together with each other. Brainstorming one head, two heads is better than one. You know what I'm saying? And I do enjoy women. I really do.
And you
enjoy
two are
women.
best friends and co-hosts.
Yes, we are best friends. We have been through a whole lot together, even with.
When I first met her, I was like 25 years old.
Yeah, something
25
like that.
years old. I had like this little petite waist, and I met her, and I thought she was like the coolest person that I ever met. I was like, I want you to be my mom, and I used to be lazy, and she instilled.
I got on her. Get up, get your baby ready for school.
She installed in me.
I scold her.
Yeah, to do cook, clean, and to keep a house clean and everything.
But see, look at that relationship that you're pointing out right there. That is another relationship that women have, right?
Yeah.
I always appreciate the elder, I was raised in the Baptist church, the Missionary Baptist Church to be exact. And the elder women of the church always taught us how to run our houses.
Right.
Right.
They were always there for us. They were not wearing the same clothes I was wearing and going after the same man, same age group that I was going after. They were the elder women of the church, and there was a separation generationally, right? Today is a whole different ball game. It's
sure
a different
is.
ball game. And maybe it's also, and I don't want to say this just to be regionally prejudiced, but I've never heard of a mother stealing the man of their daughter until I came to the West Coast. I've never heard of anything like that.
Oh, girl, you watch Maury, you watch Jerry Springer.
It's the water.
They all came from the West Coast, I'm convinced.
It's the water.
Oh, girl, that ain't nothing new.
I've never heard of such a
I
thing.
know a girl.
I heard personally the story over and over.
No,
like I
this
know
is
someone your
actually
mama
true.
took
I
your
have
man.
some friends. Mother and daughter had a baby by the same man. Now,
yeah, I've
come on,
heard that
you and your
before.
mom had
Wait,
a baby.
wait. I'm sorry. I must have tuned
Yes,
out.
my friend and her mother had a baby by the
Rewind.
same man.
The friend and her.
My friend's mother and the daughter.
Can someone write the word
Okay.
ratchet out for me so I can just
that's
put it
ratchet.
up?
Okay? That was ratchet. The mother and daughter had
That's
the same
ratchet.
baby.
That's scandalous. It's
Had a baby
disgusting.
by the
It's wrong
same
on so
man.
many levels.
They guess what? Pregnant, had their baby 2 days apart from each other.
Were they on Springer?
This is bigger.
No, I know
Can we
them.
get a drink?
They must have been drinking when they did that.
Yes.
He was playing them both, living with both of them, and they went on with this for a year and didn't even know it. When they, until something happened with the babies, they started looking too much like she said, and that something happened, and they found out.
Schwarzenegger story.
The mother and the daughter had a baby 2 days apart by the same man, a whole year.
That's worse than
They
ghetto
didn't know
twins.
it.
You ever
They
heard
didn't
of
even know
ghetto
it.
twins? No. Where you have a guy who has a baby mama in 2 different parts of town, and they're like 3 days apart. They call them ghetto twins.
Yeah,
That's
they
worse than ghetto twins.
But how can you not? I mean,
happened
you
in
dating the same man with.
Sicily.
Come on, but they live separately. He was living with both of them. Living with both of them, separate.
Wow, that brother really needed more things to do because he had a lot of time on his
He
hands.
sure did.
He needed a lot of time. Have you ever heard anything like that, Les? How about you, Cookie?
No. Oh, no.
No.
And she's from the West Coast.
Well, this happened in Washington State. I'm ready, there was.
Us too.
Washington.
Pacific
Yeah,
West.
Washington State, Fort Lewis, Washington, the military. They were military.
Oh, well, yeah, I think that's a whole nother show. Military, the Chronicles of Military Lifestyles.
Okay.
So
They were, yes, that's where they was from.
Oh my goodness. Well, what we're going to do is take a quick break, and we're going to be right back on this very interesting and provocative show. I know you guys are sitting there scratching your heads, and don't pretend like you never heard this before. Don't pretend. We just don't like to talk about it out loud, and that's why we're here having this discussion. But when we get back, we're going to talk more about what are some of the ways that women can work together. Well, how do we have a conversation from this point forward to heal, to understand, and be productive? We'll be right back here on Tina Speaks.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
Okay, we're back and we're having too much fun. I think it's too much fun. But, this conversation, leaves you scratching your hair, your weave, whatever you got up there. It leaves you scratching. Because
Scratch mine,
I know that my good friends, I have a lot of good friends that are men. At least 90% of my client base in coaching has been male. And I know some fabulous women, some wonderful women that have been in my space that I adore. And I would never exchange them for anything in the world. But I do have to say that I have had a recent education in haterisms.
Hate.
So here's my very good, wonderful best friend and executive producer, and all of his great intention and just saying, guys work together. And he hears me say all the time, we need to be in community, not commiserate.
Right.
Not realizing there is a process that I have to go through in order to discern or detect whether it's community or commiserate.
Right.
So it doesn't devour me.
Right.
It doesn't take me out.
Right.
Right? So he would bring the people, and I would just go ahead and talk to them and really lay down certain parameters for the conversation. This is not this is true, this is not true.
Right.
But then you're in Hollywood. You've got power and fame and everything around you, and these heifers will try to take you out.
Yes.
We were just talking about that. We were just telling this young lady here, because she's an artist. She's a rapper from Chicago, and we was telling her, and I told her, I said, baby, let me tell you something about Hollywood. Hollywood will eat you up if you
Or
let
try.
it. Or try.
That's right.
Okay? Don't let it. Watch your surroundings. Who you circulate your circle with is going to determine where you're going to hit up, where you're going to hit, your music going to end up, where you're going to end up at.
Your network.
Your network is
your
going,
net
right,
worth.
Your net, is it worth it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
why-
and here's the truth. You're sort of the average of the people that you hang out with the most. So I was
Yes,
I
you
was
are.
going, why am I sort of there's constantly a shift in personnel around me, just around me. Because it has to be. I have to be able to see it quickly, get rid of
Right.
it. See it quickly, get rid of it.
Right.
You got to keep it moving.
Next.
So you have to be on to the next. And actually, that's a part of my new book.
I do
on
that
to
with
the
my
next.
relationships.
New energy.
you mess up, you gone. I don't have time to cry
new
no
energy,
tears over
Xing
nobody.
out threads.
You got
on
to
to the
go.
next.
Next.
So that's next. And you got to do that everywhere. So here we are in business, okay, guys? We know that we're here to make money. We're here to exchange things. But there's certain things at my age, 45 years old, that I will not do. I will not compromise my peace for not a quarter.
Exactly.
Not for a dime.
Thank
now,
you.
that might be a hard road, a hard line. I don't even say a hard road because it's not been a hard road. When I go
Right.
outside of that commitment, it's a hard road.
It's a hard road.
But it's an easy road to go down. But it's a hard line that I draw. So in these relationships in business, I think because we are trained in business and we're trained in business etiquette and ethics, I think we have a lot more thought around how we design these relationships as to personally, not realizing your personal life is your business as well as your financial life. What do you ladies think about that? How are we navigating with women in our business space? And are we going to be able to come to a place where we can work together and not devour each other? What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. That's how I met you.
That's true.
And that's how I met you.
That's right.
You know, I met you the same way, you know. So that lets me know that there are some women that are close-minded. You have a very open mind.
Yes, you do.
You were willing to give a person a chance to see them whether am I going to have you around me? Are you worth me? You know, or not? You know, you have that open mind to to see it first and to judge it. And I noticed that about you. And I just met you a week ago.
Thank you.
And I've noticed that from your show and listening to your show that your mind is very open. So that means you have a very big heart, Tina.
You know, what I love about that statement that you just made, and I want to really make this distinction, is because we have some beautiful young women in the room. Having an open heart does not make you a weak person.
No, it doesn't. You do it because you
Meekness
choose
is not
to do
weakness.
it.
Meekness is not weakness, but
It's actually strength.
it's actually strength. Because I've had women stop and say, "You're a strong woman." I had to correct them and said, "I'm a woman of strength, not necessarily strong. I'm vulnerable,
Right.
and I'm
we're
in
women.
my body.
We're women.
and I feel what I feel, and I will not fake it." But
Yeah.
the strength in me does not come from me. It comes from the one who created me.
Right.
And so I make sure that I'm constantly acknowledging that
Right.
that I have to tap into something higher than me, otherwise I will not survive. That's
Exactly.
that's the reality.
Ooh, I
so that's
see
why I
that.
must be authentic. So even in business, I think it's so important, and I think we had this discussion a few times, and even hitting the high note as a diva, that we walk in our purpose as women, because that's what protects us.
But to stay in our purpose, we need to be selective about the woman that we choose
Oh, yeah.
to do business with. And there's nothing wrong with being selective. It's not about judgment. It's just about being able to
Choosing.
have our bigger purpose. And so
But see, you're talking about a diva. Here's the difference with a diva, right? And this
I'm talking about no chickens.
no chicken,
With no head.
unless it's on my plate fried with an R on it. But here's the chickens. I mean, the chickens and the diva, right? The chickens. I always make these distinctions because it's important. It's important for. I told my daughter, actually, I told both of them, if everything you're going to need in life, you've learned by the 8th grade, socially.
Actually, by 8 years old.
But socially, by the 8th grade, you've learned in junior high school every personality trait, every clique, every group. You're going to have to learn how to be a BN. And the B stands for female dog navigation. Right? So you're going to learn how to navigate this no matter what. Because no matter what you do in life, you're going to have the same groups. You go to corporate America, you have another clique. You have another group of people,
Right.
a new set of principles. You start your own business, you have competitors, you have
Right.
publicity, you have media. No matter what, you're going to have to navigate this all. And
You're
how
going to go
you
through some
win-
experience, too, along that journey.
And they're great
And
experiences.
they're going to be bad, but them bad ones can turn into something good.
They're all learning, as
They're
long as
learning
they're all
experience.
learning experiences. And see, I had to make a decision young because I went into the professional game at 16 years old, like my beautiful daughter's doing. I went into that game and I had to decide that I'm going to grow through it and not just go through it.
And that's a thing. It's not the end result, it's the journey. And a lot of people just don't take the time to enjoy that journey.
It's a great journey. And you can't do it unless you're conscious. I had to really look at the
people-
pain of rape, feeling abandoned when I was a child, being molested, and then the things that I went through, money stolen from me from accountants. I mean, being a professional, young,
But
having
did
to
you give
learn.
up life on that because that happened to you?
But I had to decide, like you decide, that's here.
Exactly.
As long as
And
I
it
kept
doesn't
pulling it
define you.
here, as long as I kept pulling it here, then I was going to keep creating the same results over and over. It's not who I am. Those are circumstances, right? And so little words that would they're like little what do you call them, breadcrumbs that God would give me on my little trail. And I remember being around 18 years old. I was in this little town called Lancashire in England, right? So that's in the countryside, and we're getting ready to do a gig. I took some classes there, and I'm doing a gig, and it's going to be in Battersea. So we used to rock hard in America, but you're going to go to South London. You better bring it, right? You better bring it. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, how am I going to prove that I'm really about the music? I've already heard, these music Americans, they think they can walk hard. They can't walk hard. She doesn't live in her body. She doesn't know what's going on. And I realized all I had to do is be.
Tina.
All I had to do, here I am, 18 years old, and I'm having this huge epiphany, right? And I'm walking across the street, in that little square where the Beatles walked across, right? And so I'm thinking, this is a mystical moment. This is where the Beatles walked, right? I'm walking across Piccadilly Square, and I'm going, all I have to do is be me.
Exactly. That's the only
All
person
I
you know
have
how
to
to
do is be me. It changed my performance. It changed the way I looked at the mic. There was no one else around me at that moment. There was no one. It was me and the message. And the audience would come into my consciousness from, moment to moment, and I would see them engaged. And in order for me to see that and feel it, I saw my crisis. I saw everything that I ever went through, and I was able to make a decision about it at that moment and say, that was then. But
This is now. This is the present.
This is me.
Yeah.
So what if we, as women, I chose. I chose. I didn't let someone else choose for me.
You did it.
And that's crisis, right? One cute little distinction I like to make is consciousness and crisis. It's very hard to be conscious when you're in crisis. And a lot of times we think that consciousness is the privilege of the elites because they can pay for the spa, the massage, the
Right.
But we can decide right now to be conscious by choosing. What do you guys think, Cookie and Liz? You guys are all the way over there. What do you think?
I think that you're right, that you can choose to be consciousness, Okay, I can go to the spa, but, I have my own little remedies that I come from New Orleans that I do myself that I look great and feel great about what I can do for my own.
That's your spa.
Yeah, that's my spa.
Yeah. I call it your personal Aruba.
There you
Mine
go.
used to be in my tub in my bedroom listening to,
I
Stravinsky
listen to
for
Michael,
an hour.
I listen to Michael
My
Franks.
personal Aruba.
I go in the bathroom and listen to Michael Franks, and I think
That's
I'm
right.
in Hawaii somewhere.
yeah.
A Steely Dan, or you know what I'm saying?
I see, she's talking my language.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
So I make my own. I may not have the money to go do this and that and the other, but I know how to make everything I want at home. And I'll introduce it to my friends, too.
Yeah.
She does.
I introduce it to my friends.
So what does that do for you when you're finished with those moments?
Oh, I feel fabulous.
But you feel in your body, don't you?
Yeah, I feel
Yes,
fabulous.
I feel myself.
Yeah, I feel
You're not all hectic and crazy.
No.
And,
Actually, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not. When you can take a time out
It's
every
not
day
so
for
bad.
you, even if it's just 10 minutes.
10 minutes, exactly.
Just to sit in a tub and just let everything out your hand. Don't worry about
it just
nothing.
it feels like it all just.
Oh
Listen,
God!
wait, and I'm gonna let y'all on a little secret.
Ooh, peppermint
have
soap.
You
I
have
like
to get
secrets.
you have to get that peppermint soap.
Oh,
by
I love
Dr.
my
Yes,
peppermint.
peppermint
Dr.
soap.
Barner's
Oh, my
peppermint
God.
soap. Don't play with me.
Ooh, peppermint soap. Play
That
with
gives
me.
you a whole different type of clean that we
whole
can't
different
discuss on
type
this
of
show.
clean.
Yes, it does.
It's yummy.
Yes, it is.
It's a yummy
Yes, we
thing.
can.
Yes, it is.
It's a yummy thing. But you see what you're saying is that you're stopping and you're taking self-care. I tell my kids self-care before I go there.
Right.
You don't want me to go there. So I
Exactly.
need my moment. Let me have my
Yes.
moment before I have to go all out.
And then that's not good sometimes.
It's not good. So I go and disappear for a minute.
Yeah, so you have to tell in relationships too, with your husband, boy, whatever. Sometimes, if I say I'm storming out the door, don't run after me. Let me take that. Let me calm down. Let me cool off. Don't run after me, fussing, running with me behind me,
Ooh,
running.
that make you want to fight.
Yeah. Don't ask me why you run out of here, slam the door.
Because I'm mad, 'cause I need to be
mad,
left
and I don't
alone.
want it to get worse. So the best thing for me to do is get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. Don't run after me. Please let me go.
Well, guess what? In this little quick segment, we figured out a solution, right? Personal Aruba. We all need our personal Aruba.
Yes, we do.
We also learn, make a choice. be who you are, and make a choice for that. We got to take a quick break. We're going to be right back here in Tina Speaks, and I think we need 2 hours, but we're going to have to come back to this conversation.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3 or 4. Maybe more than that even. I think it has to be a continuous series like we have been doing for the past season.
Girl, that peppermint soap ain't no joke.
The peppermint soap.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, well, we haven't taken a break. We're still on camera, but there's a
I
few
want some peppermint
remedies.
soap now.
There's Dr. Bonner's.
Dr. Bonner.
Yes.
Peppermint soap, and the lavender one's not bad, but the peppermint,
peppermint
soap,
soap is the
is a
best.
whole different type of vacation.
I'm telling you, from front to back, baby.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's nice.
It's very, very.
The man, you need to try it too, honey.
In so many ways I can please. Hey, hey, hey.
Okay, we're back here on the Tina Speaks show, and oh my goodness, I think this is the last segment, and we're wrapping up. That's why I think we need more time. But when we think about women on women, I don't want to say crime, but it is a crime when I'm going to change it. Chick on chick crime. Chick on chick crime. It's not women on women. It's chick on chick. It's not gender
Cooper
specific.
has something to say about that. Hold up.
That's right. It's not
chick-
gender specific. It's evolutionary, right? It's an evolutionary specific situation, whether the person has evolved within themselves. Not the primordial ooze evolutionary, but internal evolutionary. So I'm not going to say women on women from this point. I'm going to say chick on chick, because that's really
Yeah, because
more
woman on woman's
accurate.
great. It's
I like
chick on chick
women
that's
are
not.
great. Women are great, but reading the newspaper, and we can't avoid this whole conversation about Paula Deen, and I won't try to emote too much around it because there's mixed emotions, but you can't help it. You've got this whole thing with Paula Deen, and then Paula Deen losing her sponsorship, and then Paula Deen going blackface, and then at the same token, her book is selling more than ever. I think part of it says it's a very crafty PR campaign, but the voice I haven't heard, you guys let me know. I haven't heard Oprah chime in on any of this. Has she had opinion about it? Have you guys heard anything? And I like her voice. I trust her voice on the situation. I
There
would
are
love to hear
certain
her
things
perspective.
Oprah will touch and Oprah won't touch
That's
because of
true.
her image.
That's true.
That's just Oprah. There's certain things that Oprah would not get into because of who she is that she will not touch. There's people that she won't even bring on her show because of who she is. That's just Oprah.
I just feel like there should be more support, I guess, or more discussion from a female perspective. Look, Paula Deen got busted saying some things that she should not have said. But I have said some things, thank God the camera has not been rolling at the time. I mean, I'm just going to be honest.
But why are people so scared of the truth? If it's true and you find, if the truth is the truth, why get upset by somebody telling? Come on.
But it had to do with her sponsorship and credibility. And only reason why I specifically say Oprah, not because she's just Oprah. Do we remember her position on red meat and what happened?
And she, all with
the entire industry, do we?
Yes,
We do remember.
Yes.
We remember that, right? We remember that when she made a stance about her health, had nothing to do with anyone else.
But
right?
she
made a stance, and she said, "I am no longer eating red meat." Right? She didn't say, "Oh, you shouldn't kill the cows." No, she said, "I am no longer eating red meat for my health."
They took it farther.
And the sponsors went crazy.
They went
and
farther
then
with
the
it.
dairy and milk industry literally sued her. They went to court with her. So just from my standpoint, maybe because I'm, still walking through this little journey in media, I may not understand all the impacts. Paula Deen is losing millions of dollars of sponsorship every single day for something that she said offline or something that she personally said a long time ago. That's why I don't.
Somebody found a way to make money off of Paula. And
Someone
that's what they're doing.
they found money to make.
They make money off of
You
her.
would think that she would chime in a little bit, saying, "Look, girl, I understand. I've been where you've been, and maybe it's happened. Maybe it's nobody's business. Maybe they had a private conversation, sort of the way she deals with Stedman. It's a private conversation. It's nobody's business,
And it's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
But I guess as a woman, you would hope that if something happened with our brands, right, that another woman would see an example of
But-
another woman
Absolutely.
coming
Maybe you and I,
saying,
but not Oprah though. Oprah, like I said, Oprah has certain things that Oprah would not touch.
Okay, so if it was a
Okay?
controversial issue and Cookie's covering this controversial issue, and you may not agree with it at all, right? I pretty much already know your
Okay.
answer. But you may not agree with her position publicly. Would you support her
I would
publicly
still support
regardless?
her.
See?
I'm still
That's
gonna
what I'm
support
talking
her.
about.
Where's Gail?
Yeah.
Where's Gail?
Yeah, would,
You know what? But Paula Dean, it shocked me a little bit. But my mom told me, she said, baby, and my mom is a good old southern lady, you know, just like Paula, you know. But she said that lady is she's a racist, and she's like, she got her little perfect world, and she said, but it shouldn't have shocked you of what she said. She said, because she really does mean that.
She means
what my
that.
mom. That's what my mom said.
what are your thoughts about that?
I think woman on woman we need to support. I think that
But I like her as a chef.
even I don't have to
do like her.
agree with you on everything, but we're together.
That's
so
right. You know, and it sort of goes down to what we were talking about with forgiveness. Like this whole soundbite that I'm releasing about forgive and live now, right?
And he who is without the sin
Cast the first stone. That's what I'm saying. Thank God. I mean, I know that there's this like eternal camera rolling. Like God is the ultimate executive producer, and one day I'm going to see all the videotape. But I'm just glad he's not flying that in right about now, so that everyone can see. Because there's just moments that we're. Some of it is conditioning. Some of it is the way our children are. We did a movie like 10 years ago. A friend of mine named Shakti, she did a movie called The Color of Hate. And she did it from a completely different perspective. She did a completely a production. She's a black woman, did a production with only white people in the room, talk about racism. This was the most compelling documentary because of the fact that these people were crying. They were saying, when I was a little girl, I had a best friend that was black. My grandmother beat me so bad, I was afraid of black
Right.
people. It wasn't because they were full of hatred.
Right.
It was because of the conditioning, and it's generational. I had another woman that was, on that in that movie, and she said that her whole family turned from her because they found that a guy had 1/10 or 1/8 black in his family, and so it was it was racism and classism.
My
so
sister had to get a divorce from her husband at 15. My sister married a white boy, and my stepfather was so prejudiced. He had they had him annulled. They wedding because he was white.
You see, there's always some kind of an ism, and that's just a reality. And if we as women can understand that, and I'm saying understand, stand under the fact that we need to come together and work together, not just be in the room and say, we're here, let's figure out what we can get. Let me see if I can get my hustle, let me get my business card out, let me make my
Right.
money, let me do this, No, how can we stand together? Because we raise families, we raise children, we make community,
have to be on the
change
same
the world. That's
page,
what we
though.
do
we're
as
raising
women.
the future leaders.
We're raising the future leaders. There has to be a way to consciously be in our body. Now, we may not have all the answers, and maybe just the conversation right now has women thinking. Maybe just the conversation, just watching the conversation
Right.
has women thinking. If that's all we do, then I'm really, really happy.
And you know what? My grandmother, her name, she passed away, Viola Manina. My grandmother was just as white as your two guests here. I mean, with blue eyes. And
Except they have tans, okay.
they have but, you know, when I was a little
Worked at it.
kid, you know, we used to get on the bus together. They used to be like, who is that? And my grandmother used to be like, that's my grandbaby. They said, well, you can sit in the front, but she has to sit in the back.
But see, it's a people issue. So when I think of women on women, right, you have to think about the fact, bringing it back into the context of this conversation, that there's always going to be something.
That's true. That's true.
There's always going to be something.
Always.
You can be. I mean, I always tell people I'm not an ist or a ism. I'm not an ist or a ism. You can be racist. You can be, it could be about ageism, classism,
Yep.
everything else. But at the end of the day, we may not be able to come into full unity. We may not agree with everything, but we can understand each other.
Right.
And have compassion for each other.
Right.
And then move in a powerful.
Not be judgmental.
And not be judgmental. That's where I think I believe change begins. Real change begins. So
And woman be in.
starting with the fact that we were talking about the greatest offense, a sexual injury, a sexual offense, right, at an intimate level, which sort of that dictates how you relate to men, community, other women, how you grow. It impacts everything. And it's a quiet conversation.
And it does. It does.
It's a quiet conversation that sometimes we don't know that we're talking from that place because it's impacting everywhere, right?
But it's a healing.
But it's healing.
It's healing.
We can heal. We can heal from that place. And I think
a lot of people are going to heal from it too because they're not the only one out there.
They're not the only one. And a lot of people, I believe, watching these type of forum discussions with women all in the room, I think they heal from it because they see all different types of women.
People need to know they're not alone.
They're not alone. Isolation is death. Isolation is death. There's a big difference between being alone, right, and being lonely.
Yes.
There's
and I don't want to be neither one.
I don't mind being alone.
I ain't trying to be neither one of them.
Because if you think about the word alone, it means all one. It comes from the word all one. I'm all one within myself, which makes me a great contributor to an entire conversation with other people. So I believe God multiplies, right? One whole me times one whole me is one whole friendship.
1 + 1
so
is 11.
I'm all one. So lonely means I'm feeling lost. Something's missing. I think if we as women,
you are lost.
when we as women come together, connect the dots together, and I don't mean in some little shishi Tupperware party sort of way. I mean in a meaningful, honest way.
Sister
and bring women together
connected,
with positive
related.
energy, positive ideas. You know, not to be against each other. Well, why she get to do this and I don't get to do that?
Well, we're going to get that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're going to get there. But
Hollywood has taught me some things, but I have the opportunity to talk to those women because I think my executive producer can agree that no matter how women have come at me, I'm not going to keep saying these because I realize that's a separatist language, how women have come at me in reference to these things, I still love them. I still stood strong.
Let them learn off of you.
No matter what, because they did not touch me. They did not hurt my soul. They did not hurt my heart. It was just sad to me going, I tried to position you as a leader and a CEO right next to me. And you decided that you wanted a job.
Exactly.
Okay, so you got a job. And I was more disappointed in them not seeing their queendom. I was more disappointed. I saw the queendom in them. I saw the leader. You know, and this happened several times, like back to back. I saw the leader, and people are scraping for crumbs, and then I have to remember that's right.
Oh gosh,
not everyone,
said it right. Scraping for crumbs.
Not everyone is unplugged. Not everyone has been unplugged, and that's why we're here in these rooms to help people unplug. Right? Get into their bodies.
Yank it out.
Yank it out. Become the me that they are called to be.
Plug it out.
Walk in their identity. Because I just want to say this last statement, and we have a special guest getting ready to come on and do her thing in supporting women, up and coming artists. Going to be gracing us on the mic. But the final thing that I want to say when it comes to how we connect with each other, your responsibility is your happiness. No one else's.
No one else's.
Yes.
No one else's.
It comes from within.
The minute you start making it someone else's problem, it's an indicator, and this is not judgment, that you actually need to check in and talk about the issues that you're dealing with. The minute I start making it someone else's problem, what I'm dealing with, it's an indicator that there's a crisis there that I need to manage. And it's okay, because every day we walk through life, and with that honesty, we're healing.
It's a healing life.
Every single day. It's a wonderful journey. So, ladies, we're going to continue this discussion. We've had some wonderful people on. We've had Six, who is the host of Raw Talk
with Six. Sponsored by HowToGetTheManInYourDream.com.
That's right. And her co-host is here, Miss Cookie.
Yes.
Right? And then, of course, we have Liz.
Yes.
Just hanging out with us for 2 days and such a trooper. Welcome to
wonderful,
Hollywood,
yes.
baby. And Darlene Nelson of TheSecretIsYou.com. And we're going to close out this discussion with our next generation of beautiful, empowered female Kashmir. Is that correct?
Kashmir.
Yes. Thank you, Kashmir, for gracing our mic and being in the studio with us. And thank you, everyone, for being with us on Tina Speaks TV. We'll catch you next time.
Me and my boyfriend, Revolution Angel. It's no worries, it's no hurry. He's no dummy. Feel like it now we older. Probably old enough to be my mama friend. Want the feeling bad. It was all so sweet when I first heard the beat. We will talk about this and I write about that. Now it's all hits, bang, bang, rap about the trap. How you do that? do that. I need you, boo, like you need me too. When the world paper thin, me won't stick like glue. Whether jazz, R&B, rock and roll, blues, we can rock a freestyle, me on you. Long story short, we skateboarding in the wedding dress. We rock the best. we pass the test. No stranger rest, no clowns or jest. Tatted on my chest while I'm skateboarding in the wedding dress. It's no hurries, it's no worries. Treats me nice and he do shit for me. Feel it in my tummy and he made me feel sweet while I'm grinding to the beat. And I still got a tight little body yaddy. Where you get your little body yaddy? LOL here for days. Okay, KK. Now she love eating peaches songs like a Red Bull. Told her play peaches from the play song. Skate away, skate away, skate away, skate away, skate the pain away. Skateboarding in the wedding dress, in the wedding dress, in the wedding dress. We skateboarding, girlfriend, revolutionary angel wings on the back and the ankles. Burning Man, moon snake, Japanese monk, smoke skunk. Like the Buddha swooped in a scoop, cause my toothache hurt. And I got a sweet tooth in the booth, sitting here waiting, hard to be legit. And still pay the rent, smooth groove, gold tricks on my kick, push it. Flipping concrete stairwells off the alley. Long story short, we skateboarding in the wedding dress. We rock the best. We pass the test, no stranger rest, no clowns or jest. Tatted on my chest while I'm skateboarding in the wedding dress. It's no hurries, it's no worries. Treats me nice and he do shit for me. Feel it in my tummy and he made me feel sweet while I'm grinding to the beat. And I still got a tight little body yaddy. Where you get your little body yaddy? LOL here for days. Okay, KK. Now she love eating peaches songs like a Red Bull. Told her play peaches from the play song. Skate away, skate away, skate away, skate away. Take the pain away. Skateboarding in the wedding dress. In the wedding dress. In the wedding dress.
It's very important that we communicate with our women and our next generation, and we support them and empower them. And I support you and empower anything that you do. And I mean, I can empower only to the degree that I'm told.
No doubt, because that's actually the name of my company. It's Dope Chick City, and we all about empowering women. I wrote the song "Skate Dress" as a memorial
I love that
award.
metaphor.
You know, that's why I want to bring up skateboard is completely about ending violence against women. So it's a hip hop love song where skateboarding culture and hip hop culture meet up, and it's like, you know, bridging the gaps between, you know, the violence against women and everything like that in hip hop.
I love that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So you got to hear a little about the interview today. What were some of your thoughts? You listened to us as older, more seasoned women have this discussion.
It's interesting to hear, you know, the changing dynamics, because nowadays, you know, I'm a dope chick. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's like smart, classy, chic. You know, I spell it CHIC like French. You know. And my name, Cass Mercedes, Killer Cash, Puss in Boots, you know, dope chick. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's what I rock with out here. So, you know, me being in that age range and, you know, mid-20s or whatever, it's like we feel like to be the, you know, the dopest chick ever is like you doing everything. Like, I run my own company. I got my 2 LLCs. I got my estate set up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my BA. I play basketball for Bikini Basketball League. You know, so I'm
Did you say
balling out in
Bikini
Vegas.
Basketball League?
Yeah.
You got to be 22 with a hot, tight, little hot body to do that thing right there. Tell everybody what your Facebook page is so they can hit you up, love.
My Facebook is CASMIR. If I wasn't, then why would I say
She even says that rhythmically, talent oozing through her pores. Okay, so I'm loving the whole dynamic that you just shared with us, and you just gave me a little bit of education about, you know, the skateboard and the bridal dress. It's a whole different cultural dynamic, right? Yeah. So we're going to wrap up the show today, and I'm so grateful for you to be here. Anybody else want to share love with?
Yes, it was awesome. Thank you.
We're wrapping up Tina Speaks, and we just finished up here with Darlene Nelson, thesecretisyou.com. 6 of is the website?
It's on YouTube. Raw Talk with 6, sponsored by howtogetthemanofyourdream.com.
Okay, very, very good. And then, of course, our lovely friend Liz, who's here and having her wonderful Hollywood. My lovely cookie, you are her co-host, and that alone is phenomenal because you're working together every single day. And a lot of people think that doesn't work. You guys are best friends, and
16 years.
I've even heard that you guys are dating each other's exes, which is also another show. Another show. But much love in this room. Much love in this room. Thank you very much for being with me here on Tina Speaks. This is Tina Michelle. We will catch you next time.